presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
What another great night for baseball here in Seattle. Safeco Field, the Brewers interleague road trip continues. They're going to try to even up this series tonight against the Mariners, who escaped with a 7-6 win in Game 1 on Friday. Hi, everybody. I'm Craig Kashan alongside Bill Shorter. Great to have you with us on a glorious Saturday night here in Seattle. Willie Peralta on the mound against Felix Hernandez, a great pitching matchup. We saw them a few years back. They pitched a great ball game together. They're going to try to do it again here tonight for our audience.
Well, and again, Felix Hernandez coming off the disabled list, making his 7th start since his return. Not the same guy. Willie Peralta's really pitched well since his recall from the minor leagues, and what Willie has to do is continue what he's been doing since his recall. Fastball has been up in velocity. He's throwing, 89, or I should say 95, 96 miles an hour. That's basically been his cruising speed. The slider has been very good. You see the numbers, 1-1 at 225 earned run average, and it's going to be very important for Willie Peralta to be sharp early in the game because margin of error is not going to be very big today because Felix Hernandez, one of the best in the business over the course of his career. The 2010 Cy Young Award winner. He threw a perfect game in 2012. He's a 6-time All-Star. Coming off the DL, not the same kind of guy that he's been throughout his career. Not throwing nearly as hard, but still getting a lot of outs. Last start against the Angels, struck out 6 consecutive batters. So this is a guy that the Brewers are going to have to get to early because when he settles in, he's pretty good.
Yeah, we'll tell you those numbers coming up in just a bit. How about this guy? Keon Broxton continues to hit the ball well in center field for Milwaukee. He's back in the lineup. We'll tell you where. We'll also hear from Craig Counsell, his thoughts when we come back to Seattle. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards and all your home improvement needs. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. Back at Safeco Field, the Brewers and Mariners getting set for Game 2 here in Seattle. And how about Keon Broxton? .375 his batting average since his last recall from AAA, and last night 3 more hits, including a home run, couple of RBIs, a stolen base. This kid continues to do everything well in the lineup, the everyday center fielder. Here's manager Craig Counsell.
Most importantly, it's a credit to Keon for continuing to stick with it, to keep going down to AAA on 3 separate occasions. Not always in the best of, not with the best kind of things happening up here, and still, kind of keeping his head down and saying, I can get better, I got to get better, I'm going to get better, and doing it. So it's, mostly a credit to him is how he's responded to all these challenges. It's been, you get punched in the face a little bit and you get knocked down maybe, but you say, I'm not going to stay down. And that's what he's done this year.
Good stuff from Craig Counsell on Keon Broxton. Now Willie Peralta gets his turn against Felix Hernandez. Should be a great matchup on the mound. We'll see if the big sluggers can show up tonight as well. First pitch is on the way. Hotel and Casino. Spend the night with luxury. Great night here in Seattle. The roof is wide open. Along with Bill Schroeder, I'm Craig Kashan. How about the temperature? 91 degrees here at first pitch in Seattle. Record heat this weekend. It should break in time for tomorrow's game. But it has been a beautiful weekend weather-wise. A lot of people visiting from the state of Wisconsin, and Craig Counsell in his second season as the Brewers manager wants to find a way to get his team even up in this series. It's been a rough road trip. The Brewers have lost 5 consecutive games, a season high. The lineup tonight looks like this. It's VR at the top of the order. Scooter Gennett will bat second tonight. Then it's Braun Perez starting at first base for the first time in his career as a Brewer, and only the second time in his major league career. Chris Carter, the DH tonight. Neuenhuis out in right field. Keon Broxton in center. Arcia, the shortstop, and Martin Maldonado is the catcher. So the DH is Carter here tonight, and he's going up against Felix Hernandez, start number 17 on the season.
Yeah, and his 7 starts since coming off the disabled list. He missed about a month and a half with a right calf injury. Since his return, he's 3-0. He's a 6-time All-Star. Coming off a season last year, he was 18-9 and a .353 earned run average, and his last 2 starts have been very good. Here's the Menards defense behind Hernandez here tonight. You got Aoki, Martin, and Smith in the outfield. Seager, Marte, Cano, and Lind from third to first, and Mike Zunino behind home plate.
And the umpire and crew here tonight calling balls and strikes is Marvin Hudson. Behind the plate, the crew chief is Jim Joyce. He is out at first base. Chad Fairchild at second, and James Hoy over at third. And we are ready for baseball here in Seattle. Jonathan Villar is set to lead off for the Brew Crew in this game. Again, a tough loss yesterday for the Brewers, but they battled to the very end in the 9th inning, getting a couple of runs off the closer Diaz. Here's Hernandez's first pitch of the game, and it's in for a strike, hitting the outside corner. 91 on the chart for that fastball.
Yeah, I mean, velocity really down for Hernandez over the course of the last few years. He used to be in the mid-90s, would touch 98 from time to time with a great changeup. Still has the changeup, but just doesn't have the velocity. Still very good numbers for him. 7-4, 3.34 ERA.
And he's ahead 2 strikes. And there is the audience that is out here in support of Felix Hernandez. Kings Court. They got a T-shirt, get a hot dog or something like that too, I think, or maybe their favorite beverage, and
a bunch of K signs.
You can love that. It's good to see for the home crowd. The 1-2 pitch misses. 2-2 to open up the game. Boy, he was really caught this city by storm when he came in. You talked about the perfect game. Big contract they signed. He's got a couple of years left on that 7-year deal. Here's the 2-2, and VR fouls one away.
Yep, 2010 American League Cy Young Award winner. That perfect game came in 2012. He has been outstanding. Look at the numbers at Safeco Field. Here at home, 80 and 52. Earned run average just a bit over 3.
Here's the 2-2 again. And he puts it in play. There's the shortstop making the play. That's Marte, first out. So 1 down here in the Brewer first. And Hernandez at last start against the Angels was his career win number 150. And they've all come in a Mariner uniform. They signed him when he was 16 years old. Came up through the ranks, and he said, I like the first 150. How about 150 more and get to that magical 300? I don't know if he's got enough left in the tank for that. That's a tough trick to pull, isn't it, anymore?
Kidding. I don't think it's going to ever happen again, the 300 win plateau. But Hernandez first year with the Mariners back in 05. He actually in 2003, the year after he signed, actually pitched in Wisconsin, the Timber Rattlers in the Midwest League. Used to be a Seattle Mariners affiliate.
Alex Rodriguez, when he played and came up with the Mariners, also played some single A games. I don't think he played a full season in Appleton, but he also came through the Wisconsin ranks in low A ball. Good minor league baseball in the state of Wisconsin. Great history. Here's Scooter Gennett. Lines this one down the right field line, and it falls in, and Scooter Gennett's going to race into second base. And a 1-out double for Scooter Gennett. And the Brewers instantly have a runner in scoring position here in the first inning.
Yeah, Hernandez doesn't give up many hits. That's only the 83rd hit he's allowed in over 102 innings of work. So tough to put hits together in an inning. Yeah, Gennett kind of dejected after he made contact, but Seth Smith not able to get there. Sounded like he was off the end of the bat a little bit. But the one thing you have to do against Hernandez, get him early. I mean, he has struggled since coming off the disabled list in the first inning.
Yeah, his ERA up over 12 in the first inning, and after that it settles down to just over 2 from the second inning on. So Jeanette's double could be a table setter for Ryan Braun here. You see that sun out there in right field. I'm not so sure that Seth Smith got a good beat on that ball. And an earlier evening start here, just like in Milwaukee. These Saturday night games here start at 6 o'clock local time. Didn't have to deal with that in last night's 7 o'clock start. Ryan Braun. And a nice stop by Seager. And he'll make the throw across to get Braun, with Jeanette going to third. What a play there.
What a dandy that was right there by Seager. Looked like that ball was by him, but threw the glove out there, able to make the play. Check this out. That is a bullet. And he's able to keep it in the glove and get Braun easily at first base. A run-saving play by the Mariners shortstop. Mariners play some pretty good defense. Errorless game yesterday. 67 errors is all for the Mariners this year.
Boy, Braun hit that one on the nose like he did yesterday when he delivered in the 9th inning, that 2-out, 2 RBI single. So Perez, and this one skips off the mound, right over to Cano, and the Brewers are retired. So the 1-out double by Jeanette goes for naught, and now the Mariners come up against Willie Peralta. Bottom of the first inning, and Willie Peralta on the mound to face Mariner hitters now for the first time. Scott Service, the Coon Valley, Wisconsin native, in his first year as the Mariners manager, and boy, he's having a nice first season. 65 and 56. They're in the thick of the wild card chase right now. Former Brewer Nori Aoki will lead off in left field. Seth Smith, and then Robinson Cano. Kyle Seager last night, 2 for 4 at the home run. Adam Lind also had a home run. Robinson Cano had a home run. Tough lineup for Willie Peralta here tonight. And he faces Aoki right out of the gates. First pitch in for a strike for Willie Peralta.
And numbers overall not that great for Willie Peralta, but since his return he's been very good. Velocity up, slider's been good. Gonna have to continue that here tonight. This is an offense that has been clicking on all cylinders. They've been hitting a lot of home runs. 3 last night, and you figure the ball's going to fly pretty well here tonight as well with the way the weather is.
Peralta, his 3rd start since coming back from Colorado Springs. 1-1 with a 2.25. It was interesting. His last start against Cincinnati was his first win since June 11th. That was the game in which he won, he homered, and then was sent out to Colorado Springs. A different type of scenario, and this one just fair for Aoki as he digs his way for second, and it's going to be a leadoff double for the former Brewer. Well, he haunts his old team right out of the gates, batter number one.
Yeah, going to be important for Willie to be able to minimize damage early in the game. You don't want to fall too far behind. Felix Hernandez, not a good start for him. Just out of the reach of Perez inside that right field line and down in the corner for a leadoff double.
And Willie Peralta wants a different baseball. Throws that one back. One of the dozens of baseballs that will be thrown out of play.
Plenty to choose from. They've got plenty in that clubhouse. I don't think they're going to run out.
Here's Seth Smith, the right fielder. First pitch inside and high. Smith on the season at .261, but he's been scuffling as of late since July 24th, just .190. Got some nice numbers though.
11 home runs. The Mariners third in all of baseball in home runs as a team.
That's amazing. You go up and down this lineup, and of course you've got the Canoes and the Nelson Cruzes and the Seagers, but a lot of guys with double-digit home runs, and this one poked down the left field line, just foul. Here's a look at Seattle's 170 home runs and where they rank. Top three are all in the American League, and then the St. Louis Cardinals at 168.
Orioles have been hitting a lot of homers. Boy, they're on a roll as of late.
Seattle chasing the Orioles in the wild card playoff race right now. This one lined right to Perez. Quick throw, and they got him out at second base. What a play by Hernan Perez. Not an everyday first baseman, but looks like one there.
Just a good athlete. He's got a very strong throwing arm, very accurate, gets rid of it quickly. And Aoki just a little bit too far off the bag, and Villar able to cover the bag over there at second. Good throw by Perez to get him. Just barely got him, but that's going to be a big out. It clears the bases.
Two down for Robinson Cano, and Perez continues to play well wherever he plays. Only his second career start at first base. Played a little bit there in the last couple of weeks. His versatility second to none on this team. High chopper, and this one just foul.
The crowd reacting. Perez not able to come up with it.
Looked for a moment like he might be able to catch the ball right on the bag.
Well, it's not where the player is when he touches the baseball. It's where the baseball is. And according to the home plate umpire Marvin Hudson, it was foul.
Perez has played first base, second base, right field, third base, and shortstop this season for Milwaukee, making starts at all those positions.
And he's played well no matter where he's been put. And swinging the bat. Yeah, last pitch for Willie Peralta at 98 miles an hour. I mean, he has dialed up the velocity since he's returned from the minor leagues.
Well, all of his pitches are working for him, and he's very pleased with how it's been setting up his fastball, that's for sure. High pop up, foul territory. Villar makes the catch. Well, the leadoff double, no damage after the double play. Turns out to be a 3-up, 3-down for Peralta.
Hey, kids can head back to school in style with the Brewers chest protector backpack given to all kids at Miller Park next Sunday, August 28th, against the Pittsburgh Pirates, courtesy of Quick Trip. Plus, it's also another Kids Eat Free Sunday at Miller Park. Visit Brewers.com for tickets.
Chris Carter leads off and sends this one into the gap and off the top of the wall. It's going to be a double to lead off the Brewers' second half, or second inning, I should say. Another booming shot. Looks like Chris Carter's got his bat rolling again here in Seattle. Home run last night and a double here in his first at bat.
Yeah, a really deep home run into center field last night, taking this one out in the right center on the fastball. Hernandez not fooling anybody. Last 4 hitters have hit the ball right on the nose. Hernandez very fortunate that he did not give up not just one run, maybe a couple of runs the way Braun Perez hit their baseballs. 23rd double of the year for Chris.
That brings up Kirk Neuenhuis. He gets the start in right field tonight. Domingo Santana came off the disabled list yesterday and immediately got a start out in right field. Keon Broxton is, for the most part, taken over the everyday duties in center field with his bat, so it's limited time for Neuenhuis. This one popped up shallow left, and the left fielder racing in out there. It's Nori Aoki making a nice running catch. There's the first out.
Man, another good pitch to hit. I'll tell you, Hernandez is getting a lot of the plate with his pitches. 2 pitches there to Kirk Neuenhuis, very hittable, but Neuenhuis jammed himself on that last one.
One down, runner still out at second base for Keon Broxton. 375 since he was last recalled from the minors, so that 250 average doesn't look great, but it's really starting to climb compared to what it was down near 200. And this time he tries to bunt his way out. Yesterday, 3 hits, including this line drive home run. A Powerball home run total for Broxton, number 4 on the season. One of 3 home runs hit by the Brewers yesterday.
Man, base hit in the right field and a big walk in the 9th. So, yeah, he's been doing a very good job getting on base, showing a lot of confidence up at the plate.
We heard from Craig Counsell at the top of the telecast talking about the confidence that Broxton has and how much Counsell really gives the player the credit to that. I mean, you know this, Rock, a player, whether he starts out 0 for 24 like Broxton did, you get sent back and forth to the minors, it's still up to you. You're the one that's got to play your way onto the field, and he's done that.
Yeah, and that's a mental battle when you get your first track at the big leagues, your first legitimate shot at the big leagues.
This time he grounds out the short for out number 2.
And you go for 24, get sent down, and he got the work done. I mean, he worked hard and got the new batting stance to a point where he's feeling pretty comfortable, and starting to pay off for him. Good for him.
2 down for the shortstop, Orlando Arcia. Nice to see Arcia have himself a nice game from the plate. He's kind of scuffling a little bit, especially here on this road trip.
They made a couple of errors in yesterday's ball game, unforced errors, very unusual for Arcia, throwing error and then had one roll up his glove. And I think a little bit of that has to do with his struggles at the plate. Young kid, a lot of expectations. He's putting a little bit of undue pressure on himself.
1 for 11 on the road trip and only 2 hits in his last 24 at bats since making his major league debut at San Diego, remember, at the beginning of the month, August 2nd. Right after the trade deadline, the Brewers' top prospect was called up. Fly ball left field. Aoki to his left. And a leadoff double by Chris Carter. And he is stranded at second base.
The defense for the Brewers, the Menards Brewers defense. You got Braun Broxton and Neuenhuis in the outfield. VR Arcia on the left side. Jeanette back at second base. Perez at first, making his third start over at first. And Martin Maldonado, your catcher behind home plate tonight. Interesting, the Maldonado making his first start with Willie Peralta on the mound since his recall. First 2 times it was Manny Pena behind home plate.
He faces Nelson Cruz to open up the Mariners' half of inning number 2. No score here in Seattle. Wonder if that might have something to do with the fact that Willie spent such a long time at AAA Colorado Springs with Pena there. Maybe keeping him comfortable for those first couple of starts. Maldonado caught Peralta for the most part the last several seasons when it was Peralta's turn out on the mound. There's a strike to Cruz. 2-2 the count now. There's Manny Pena. Done a nice job behind the plate and at the plate as well. Craig Counsell doesn't want to give every single game to Maldonado. He wants to see what Pena's got.
Yeah, going forward, maybe next year you might see him get some opportunity to make the club.
Little comebacker to Peralta. There is out number 1. Well, yesterday we saw the major league debut of Brent Suter out on the hill for Milwaukee. Good pace to his rhythm out on the mound, and it was his major league debut. And after the game, the reporters were looking for him to catch up with them and get some post-game quotes. And Mike Vasallo, our Brewers PR director, was looking all over for him for several minutes and joked to the guys, "I don't know where he is. I seriously don't know where he is." There's Zach Davies and Suter right next to him there. And he said, well, that's not him either. Anyway, we don't even know where he is right now.
So where was he last night?
So Vasallo joked to the reporters, he's probably out in the dugout watching the fireworks, because they had a big fireworks show.
Yeah, right.
And lo and behold, somebody went out there, and there he was in full uniform by himself in the Brewer dugout watching the fireworks.
Surprised he wasn't in there with his family, right? Family came in to see his first start.
He was soaking up every moment of his first major league game.
Yeah, I talked to Craig Counsell before the game about him. He said he was pleased with the way he pitched. He's a kind of a guy that can't really make mistakes like he did in last night's game.
Seager goes the other way and punches one into left center. 4-base hit. So a 1-out single.
This guy's been impressive. You don't really hear a whole lot about Seager. You know, they're out on the West Coast. Games are pretty much going on long after Brewers games are done. But this guy's been pretty impressive. We saw him just once last night. But has a pretty good eye at the plate. He had a home run last night. We saw that really good play at third base in the first inning.
A lot of quality players on this Mariner roster. Here's Adam Lynn, a Brewer in 2015. And they traded him during the offseason to Seattle. They needed a first baseman, and he's fit the bill fairly nicely at first and is a designated hitter. .235 with 18 home runs and 48 RBIs. He had an 8th inning home run in last night's game. At the time gave the Mariners a 7-4 lead going into the 9th. The Brewers scored 2 before losing 7-6. So he's had a lot of home runs this year for the Mariners that have meant a great deal. They hold a lot of value. He's had 2 3-run walk-off home runs.
And that home run last night turned out to be the difference in the game.
Yep.
Brewers able to put a couple of runs on the board in the top of the 9th, and that home run coming off Chase Anderson, who worked out of the bullpen yesterday.
Yeah, the Brewers are with that doubleheader on Tuesday in Chicago, and the fact that Anderson got injured in the first inning of that game, have kind of had to scramble a little bit. That led to the Suter call up yesterday. Anderson pitching out of the bullpen yesterday. He'll go back into the rotation next week. And Junior Guerra had a good bullpen session here today, and they're going to reevaluate where he will make his next either rehab assignment or just come back to the big league club probably on Monday. And so for the time being, Brent Suter, who started yesterday's game, likely going to come out of the bullpen for now.
A lot of decisions the Brewers coaching staff and front office, David Stearns and Craig Counsell have had to make throughout the course of the year. Not easy decisions, a lot of roster moves, a lot of transactions, and just trying to keep this thing together, in this rebuilding phase of the organization right now.
And Lynn strikes out. Big strikeout for Peralta, 2 down.
Well, we talked about the slider for Willie Peralta, how good it has been, and with 2 strikes, he's been doing a real good job keeping it over the part of the plate, but down in the strike zone, down in the dirt. That's been the big difference for Willie now and before his call up. Before he got sent down, velocity, hovering around 94, 95. Slider very inconsistent, not so much now.
Mike Zunino, the catcher. There's a strike from Peralta.
And that's that get me over slider. You see the difference in it between that and the strikeout slider.
This one fly ball left field. And Braun gives way at the last second to Broxton. We are through 2 here in Seattle, no score. To say, catch Colin and Jason on FS1's new daily sports talk show, Speak for Yourself, weekdays at 5 Central. No score here in Seattle as we go to the top of the 3rd. Willie Peralta, good start against Felix Hernandez. Hernandez out on the hill now to start inning number 3. He faces the catcher Martin Maldonado. Hernandez and Peralta are actually meeting for the 2nd time this year. During Peralta's stint at AAA Colorado Springs on July 15th, he pitched against Hernandez, who was at Tacoma, the AAA club of Seattle, when he was on the disabled list rehabbing. Hernandez won that battle, as he did a few years ago as well. So I think Willie owes him, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, Willie's due. He's pitched well so far tonight, just like he did 3 years ago here. Yeah, how about a rehab start down in the minor leagues for Felix Hernandez? 8 innings. He went 8 innings in that start. Always fun to watch some of the league's best, and Felix Hernandez certainly is in that category. He's a lot of fun to watch.
Maldonado strikes out to open up the 3rd inning. We showed you that Kings Court. There they are holding the big K signs up. They have the T-shirts. They also have a tradition of passing this turkey leg along, and you have to chuckle because there's the first bite, and it gets passed along throughout the stands there. Oh, he did hold on to it for a while. He might have had a couple of bites there, but that keeps you clean, huh?
Yeah,
clean
well,
and healthy.
you got to really trust the folks around you to be able to do that.
VR on the first pitch, and he's going to reach. Slow roller out to Marte. Tried to barehand that one and never got control of it.
Yeah, never would have been able to get him regardless. Even if he's able to get it with the bare hand, he's not going to get VR at first. That will be a base hit. So the Brewers have been able to scratch out hits in each of the first 3 innings. Let's see if VR is going to be aggressive. He always is, to try and steal a base and get into scoring position.
Here's Scooter Gennett. I was trying to think if we were out in that section, Rock, if you'd take a bite of that turkey leg.
That depends.
I'm glad you didn't shut it down right away.
No, I'll never say no. But
right.
I guess it depends on how many adult beverages I've had before that. As I sit right here, probably no. I'd pass it along, but you never know.
Yeah. That's what I figured. You can always come up with a reason to do anything,
Just
right?
being honest.
I know it. That's why I brought it up. I knew you'd give it an honest answer.
How about you? Are you a germaphobe?
I'm not really a germaphobe. I just, it depends upon how many passes that turkey leg has had, I guess, before it reaches me. Like if I've got to start digging for a true bite, I might pass that leg.
Well, you're not going to take a hunk at it where everybody was holding on to it. I'm with you.
There's a strike to Gennett, 1-1. Isn't baseball great, though? I mean, there's some fun traditions, and when you can base them on a player like this who's been around a long time, came up through the organization. Check the runner VR, second in the National League in stolen bases. Still 6 behind Billy Hamilton. He went through a spell where he was caught, I believe, 5 consecutive times. Got one the other day. There he goes. Gennett into left. Aoki going back. Warning track. Wall makes the catch. And VR has to go back to first base. Boy, that ball really carried off the bat of Scooter Gennett.
It got pretty good wood on it, got under it, and was slicing away toward the line as Aoki got back there. Just a little bit off the end of the bat as Vera was taking off on the pitch. Aoki never takes his eye off it, able to make the catch easily in front of the fence. But you're right, I mean, that ball's carrying tonight just like it did last night.
Saw a total of 6 home runs yesterday, and now Scott Service coming out to talk to the home plate umpire, Marvin Hudson.
Well, they want to see, I guess, asking whether VR retouched the bag. I guess he's satisfied that everything's okay with that. Maybe they're going to appeal. Once you go by the bag, you have to retouch the bag, and they're going to appeal to second base.
Well, this will be interesting if this works against VR here. Here's the throw. And he's out. So VR apparently never touched second base again after passing it up on that fly ball out. And Greg Counsell just shaking his head. Another base running blunder by Jonathan VR. season stealing bases, but he's also had a season making plenty of outs on the bases, and this is a first here this year.
Man, this isn't even close either. See, tags the bag, goes by it, starts to head back, doesn't retouch the bag, and then goes back to first. And that's just an error you just can't make. I mean, that is bad base running. Got to retouch the bag. I mean, everybody knows that you have to do that. Just lack of concentration by Jonathan Villar. Unfortunate with Ryan Braun coming to the plate.
Here's Martin here in the third inning against Willie Peralta to lead off in a scoreless game.
You see, the fundamentals of that whole thing is that Scott Service went out, talked to the home plate umpire Marvin Hudson, and said, we're going to appeal, and then if he calls him safe, we want to review. Just in case the second base umpire, Chad Fairchild, didn't see it. You have to tell the umpire that that's what you're going to do. You have to appeal first, and then you ask for the review. But apparently the second base umpire saw it clearly, and it was obvious.
Chad Fairchild out at second base. Three and one the count to Martin. And a leadoff walk here in the third inning. Here's the number 9 hitter now, Marte.
Well, these are the guys you have to be able to control. And the bottom of this order, once you get down to 7, 8, 9, you can't let these guys get on base or do any damage. And because the top of this order, top to middle of this order, is very dangerous.
Yeah, and up and down this lineup last night on Friday in the 7-6 Seattle win. Everyone did their job of getting on base. They made it rough on Brewer pitchers. Two solo shot home runs yesterday and a 2-run pop by Cano. Seattle left 12 runners on base in yesterday's game. Ketel Marte, the shortstop, switch hitter. He had an RBI double in last night's game. That came in the 7th inning off Chase Anderson. Chase Anderson pitching 2 innings of relief for the first time in his career. He had started his previous 71 times in the majors.
Man, that's kind of where the Brewers were as far as their bullpen goes. I mean, the Chicago series, a 4-game series, bullpen worked a lot. So you have your starter who didn't pitch much, throw him out there into the bullpen and work 2 innings.
And unfortunately, they just didn't have the luxury of not using him until his next start. His arm's just too fresh, and pitchers get a lot of work in between their starts. So an opportunity like that, you don't go through your daily routine. You save it for a game situation. Runner going, bunt popped up, and it goes foul. People often ask, what do pitchers do between their starts? They do a lot of work.
A lot of running,
a lot of throwing, a lot of running.
Weight work, a lot of stretching out. Video. Relievers do the same thing. They work hard before the game. Do a lot of running.
Martin at first. He's on the go again. And the ball dropped by Maldonado. He had that gun ready to fire, but didn't have the baseball in his hand.
Yeah, tough pitch for Maldonado. The ball bounced. I mean, it would have been a miraculous play to be able to pick it and make a throw to second base.
Maldonado, a very good defensive catcher, has been for a long time for the Brewers.
The Mariners don't run all that much, but Martin, one of the guys that will take off.
Foul ball out of play. Maldonado has gunned down 27% of would-be base stealers. Getting the bulk of the duty behind the plate since the Brewers traded away Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy's going to get a familiar face apparently into the Texas Rangers roster as Carlos Gomez has signed a minor league deal with them. Checking the runner out at second.
Hey, Carlos going to go down and play a couple of minor league games and then come up to the Texas Rangers. So Lucroy and Gomez reunited again.
Well, he never hooked on with the Houston Astros, and they released him. It'll be interesting to see. You'll have Jonathan Lucroy and Jeremy Jeffress with them over there. Slow roller. Arcia, quick gun, gets the runner Marte. Take a look at our T-Mobile greater coverage of baseball and news and notes around the league. And Carlos Gomez is signing to the Texas Rangers, tops our list today. Those numbers with the Astros, so he stays in the state of Texas. Going to play in a few AAA games and likely join the big league club. We'll see how it goes. Jonas Cespedes today in San Francisco, 3 for 5, including a double, 3 RBIs. Second game back from that strained quad. And Clayton Kershaw trying to rehab his way back to the Dodgers rotation. Hasn't pitched in a game since June 26th.
Yeah, Dodgers been playing some pretty good baseball in his absence. They're only a half a game back, starting play today.
Yeah, they grabbed a hold of first place earlier this week.
Yep, and the Mets have to be a big disappointment in the National League. With a win today, they broke a 3-game losing streak, and they're still a 1 game under 500. Kind of a surprise.
Yeah, big surprise there. They were supposed to be a contender with Washington. Miami's done a nice job of staying in the playoff chase. But if you're below 500 at this time of year, good luck trying to even crack the wild card.
Right, yeah, it's going to be tough. Got to play some good baseball, and having Cespedes back is going to help.
Well, he was quite meaningful last year, the addition to the Mets team, getting them all the way to the World Series.
Staying with the hard stuff to Aoki, 98 miles an hour, that fastball.
Well, Peralta had to get control of his off speed, and that's turned into better velocity. So a lot of good things happening for Willie Peralta. I think you saw in the last game against Cincinnati. I mean, he's making some strong throws, trying to pick off base runners, collecting outs there. Aoki slaps one into right field. This will score the game's first run. And Seattle, Aoki's RBI single, take a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, he's pulled Peralta twice now. A ground ball double down the right field line in the first, and then he turns around a 96-mile-an-hour fastball that wasn't a bad pitch. I mean, in all honesty, Aoki more of a slap hitter. He likes to serve the ball into left field, able to turn on that heater. That was actually a little bit in off the plate. So once again, the leadoff walk. Bottom of the order. You can't let it happen against this team. Those are the guys you have to control.
Here's Smith. Check Aoki over there.
Yeah, Aoki with 6 stolen bases, but the problem with Nori, he's been caught 9 times. 6 for 15, not a very good percentage.
We'll keep a close eye on him. Yeah, Seattle not a big base running team. Second worst in the American League.
Well, they know where their bread's buttered. They hit homers, right? You don't have the guys that can steal bases. You don't run.
The Brewers have lived through those scenarios in the last decade a few times. I think that was when Ken Maka was managing for those couple of years. He wasn't big on the stolen bases.
No, he wasn't. It's like George Bamberger used to say, I don't like running. I'm going to have my guys hit three-run homers.
There you go.
It's a good plan.
That's why Adam Lind has 6 3-run home runs this year. But you got to have a guy that delivers like that.
No kidding. Man, not doing a very good job with first pitch strikes so far tonight. Only 4 of 11.
Okie bluffs, throw from Maldonado late.
A tough throw. I mean, a lot of things can go wrong on a throw like that when you don't come up out of the crouch and you try and make that throw to first base behind the left-handed hitter. Maldonado does it as well as anybody.
2-0 the count to Smith. Peralta takes a look at Aoki again. There's a strike outside corner from Peralta. Aoki delivers the game's first run. Played for the Brewers back in 2012 and 2013. Very popular player in Milwaukee in those 2 short years, though. Peralta misses outside 3-1.
They got traded over to the Royals for Will Smith, who has been since traded. San Francisco Giants.
So Aoki's been with Kansas City, the Giants, and now Seattle. The 3-1. Hammered center field. Broxton going back, makes the catch. And Aoki retrieves back to first. That's the second out.
Seth Smith hits 2 bullets right at somebody. First time up in the first inning, a line drive to Perez that he turned into a double play, and this is a line drive into center field. So hitting in some bad luck tonight. Broxton able to run it down.
Robinson Cano, check this out. On the first pitch this season, if he connects, 435, 10 home runs, and 27 RBIs. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so maybe flip up a slider, maybe. Don't give him a fastball for a strike. Or at least one not down the middle.
Cano with 28 doubles. He's had 30 or more in each of his first 11 seasons. And there's a short list of those who have had him in their first 12, including Stan Musial, Tris Speaker, and Honus Wagner.
Yeah, how about that list?
Brewers do not want to watch him reach 30 here. They like to get out of Dodge by the end of Sunday. Keep him quiet. Cano had the 2-run home run in yesterday's game. This one hit hard center field, and Broxton in there to collect it for the 3rd out. Mariners get on the board, though. It's 1-0. The Brewers, top of the fourth we go, but before we pitch, let's take a look at our Car Soup trivia question. Who are the only 3 players to get 2 extra base hits in an All-Star game before age 23? The only 3 players to get 2 extra base hits in an All-Star game before age 23.
Well, since they have that question with the Seattle Mariner sign there in the bag, it's got to be a Mariner. How about Junior?
That's a very good guess.
You know, Junior, guessing Junior in questions like that relating to the Mariners, like saying Robin Yount for questions about the Brewers.
Very good. I like it. You're absolutely right. A-Rod started his career here.
Right.
He was young. Good question. Ryan Braun leads off the Brewer fourth. We thought he was going to bat last inning, but a rare, I guess you'd call that a double play.
Yeah, just a bad base running mistake by VR.
Braun hammers one into shallow left, and it's caught out there. Nice running catch by the shortstop, Marte. One down here in the Brewer fourth. That'll bring up Perez.
And never took his eye off it, going out into short center field and making a catch. Hernandez able to jam Braun on the pitch that was in off the plate that time. Not throwing nearly as hard as he used to. I guess you'd expect that, right? Been around a while, a lot of innings under his belt. First year with Seattle, 05.
Well, the great ones find a way to stay in the game by adjusting how they play, right?
Yeah,
how they perform. And
more command now than just trying to throw it by hitters. Pitches like that. Just has a feel for the game. Just has a feel for, you know, what hitters are looking for and what to throw when. Well, he's kind of checked his ego at the door, you know, basically when you talk about 91, 92 miles an hour with the fastball. Didn't used to be that way. But yeah, you got to give him a lot of credit for being able to make the adjustments. Some cannot.
this one skips away. 2-2.
Big guy, 6'3", 200+ pounds, out of Venezuela.
30 years old. And he gets Perez. 2 down here in the Brewer fourth.
Sometimes it's hard to tell what he's throwing. It's changeup this time, and Perez chases one in the dirt.
And as you mentioned, the Brewers and any team, if they're trying to get to him, it's got to be early in that first inning. He only gets better as the game wears on, but this time he hits Carter with 2 down.
Trying to pitch him inside, didn't want to leave one out over the plate, hit him. Not even close. Right off the elbow for Chris.
That'll bring up Neuenhuis. Neuenhuis flew out to left in the second inning, his first plate appearance against Hernandez. Neuenhuis did not get into yesterday's game. 3 for 10 on the road trip, hit a home run at Wrigley. Also had 3 RBIs.
Yeah, 3-run home run off of Jake Arrieta. That was on Thursday.
swing and a miss. Let's check out the Powerball home run leaderboard for Milwaukee. Chris Carter with 28. Hit his 28th last night. Ryan Braun 22. And Neuenhuis with 11, along with Hernan Perez. Missing outside, 2-2. There's his court down the left field corner.
Every time that Hernandez gets 2 strikes on the batter, they stand up waving the signs.
And another strikeout. He gets 2 here in this inning, 3 for the game so far, 3.5 in the books. He's got a 1-0 lead.
Go field. Mariners up 1-0, and MLB TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 200 supported devices. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Here's Nelson Cruz against Willie Peralta here in the Mariners half of inning number 4. Mariners plated the game's only run back in the 3rd. Cruz grounded out to Peralta his first time up. Cruz with 31 home runs on the season, hit 44 last year. This guy's been a big-time home run machine in his entire career.
Yes, he has.
Only Chris Davis hit more last year in the American League. He had 47.
Brewers traded him to Texas for Carlos Lee. Not a bad hitter in his own right.
Spent a lot of time at Texas, became a big-time power threat, then 1 year at Baltimore in 2014, and then signed with Seattle a year ago. This down the left field line all the way into the corner. Cruz will stop at second and settle for a double to lead off the 4th inning.
Yeah, turn that baby around. Fastball in. And not messing around. He has got a quick bat, does Nelson Cruz. That pitch leaking down the heart of the plate, and he just hammers it down the line for a leadoff double. And the 3rd time that the Mariners have been able to get their leadoff hitter aboard. 2nd time with a double.
brings up Seager. And again, Willie Peralta, you're right, Rock, having a tough time getting that first pitch over for a strike. Another ball one count here to open things up.
Well, what it does, it puts you in more of a obvious fastball count. And when you have hitters like the Mariners have in the middle of their order, that is a dangerous pitch. You got to be careful here. Seager with big home run power. And with the way Hernandez has been throwing the baseball, you can't fall behind by much more. Not the way that guy's been throwing the baseball tonight.
Kyle's brother Corey, of course, playing with the Dodgers. Maldonado, quick throw, second base. Cruz gets back.
Yeah, just trying to help his pitcher out, trying to get or stealing out. Throwing behind Cruz. Cruz not going anywhere though. He can't run.
Three and 0 to count to Seager. Leadoff double by Cruz here in the fourth. 3-0 pitch had the green light. Flies out to left. And Cruz will hold at second base.
Well, you know Seager's not going to be happy about that. Not only does he make it out on a 3-0 pitch. Looked like it might have been off the plate, and he got jammed a little bit. Hitting that ball out to left field, and an easy out for Braun.
Here's Adam Lind with one down. Cruz still at second. Peralta wants to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes to Lind. He had a home run in last night's game late.
Pulled the string on him right there, 85 miles an hour.
A Muncie, Indiana native. Will hold Cruz at second and throw out Lind for the second out. Well, this game low scoring like the matchup back in 2013 between Peralta and Hernandez. That was a 2-0 final. Peralta went the distance there and got the loss. Trailing 1-0 in this game here in the fourth. Peralta, Milwaukee's opening day starter, sent to the minors and now back with the big league club. Trying to regain that form the Brewers were hoping to see on opening day. This is his third start since being recalled from Colorado Springs, and he continues to look pretty sharp.
Yeah, his fastball's been pretty good. I mean, velocity good, location pretty good. He's throwing his slider close enough to get swings. Let's see if he throws that slider down out of the strike zone with 2 strikes. And number 3 was a slider. You really don't want to leave it up there, up down the middle of the plate.
While Peralta is gone, the Brewers using Junior Guerra and Zach Davies for the most part. You had Brent Suter's start yesterday, and you look at the starts by rookie pitchers for the Brewers this season alone, 41. That's not how they were thinking coming out of the gates on opening day.
Well, especially the guys that they had to send down to the minor leagues to have these guys start. Yeah, your opening day starter, you had Taylor Youngman, who had a terrific season last year. Those guys not able to get the job done, so Davies, Garrett got opportunities and made the most of it. Remains to be seen how Suter pans out. We'll see.
Little roller. Maldonado's going to make a spin and throw, and a gun and got him. Nice play by Martin Maldonado. So Cruz led off the inning with a double, and he stayed out at second base. 1-0, end of 4. Brewers nothing. Brewers going to bat. Let's take a look at our answer to our Car Soup trivia question. Who are the only 3 players to get 2 extra base hits in an All-Star game before they were 23? If you guessed Ken Griffey Jr., you were right. If you guessed Mike Trout, you were also right. And for those of you who guessed Ted Williams, you were right. We all guessed the first 2.
Well,
but
you know, I didn't guess Mike Trout. I mean, if you know the answer to that question off the top of your head, you are a baseball.
Yes, you are. What a mix of talent.
Genius. I mean, that's a tough question.
Roxton to right for the first out. Yeah, the prize might be the what's left of the turkey leg.
Probably rolling around on
It's a bad prize, though,
somebody's
isn't it?
seat right now.
If you're guessing Ted Williams to close out that trio, you've done well.
Let's see if we can spot it.
Everybody still looks like they're doing okay out there in the King's Court. Here's Arcia.
The thing that's kind of got me leery about the turkey leg, did you see the guy who actually brought it down to the stands? He had it one of those claws.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't even touching it.
He was not touching it.
That's not a good sign, is it?
That is. It's no longer germ free.
Yeah, see? Look at there.
We don't even know who's in that Darth Vader outfit.
Yeah.
Sure, it's the cook.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. It's one of those, what do they call those things? It's taped on there.
It's taped on there.
Those sabers.
The lightsaber.
Yeah. They've got a big Star Wars movie after the game tonight. They're going to be showing on the scoreboard tonight.
Wonder which one they're going to show tonight. Do you know? Do we know? Return of the Jedi. sticking around?
I've seen it. Haven't you seen it?
Brent Suter might be sticking around for that. He stuck around for the fireworks.
Yeah.
I like that. Arcia strikes out. 4 strikeouts now for Hernandez.
Yeah, starting to press a little bit up the plate. Yeah, swinging pitches that he wasn't swinging at when he first came up. Just grinding up there at home plate. Going to have to work his way through it.
Well, Orlando, just know this. Many of big league ball players who have turned out to be pretty good have had starts like this.
Yeah.
There's a big time difference going from AAA to the big leagues.
Well, one of the reasons why the Brewers felt it was time to bring him up is because he had the mental toughness to be able to handle the tough times. He's always had that down in the minors. Not sure if he's ever struggled like this in the minor leagues. But he'll snap out of it. He's too good a player. I mean, he's shown it every year in the minor leagues. Key is just don't let it leak into your defense, and we saw a little bit of that last night. But, not bad for 22 years old.
Not at all. The 0-2, and Maldonado strikes out, and Hernandez is getting himself into a groove here. By Hubie and Abraham, 1-800-800-5678. Hubie and Abraham, tell them you mean business. Sun setting here in Seattle. It's been a gorgeous weekend so far, but the Brewers would like to get out of town with a victory or two, and Willie Peralta trailing 1-0 back out on the mound. And it's Martin to lead things off here in the 5th inning. Pitch count in great shape at 65. This is the guy that got him in trouble, though. Martin drew a leadoff walk back in the 3rd and wound up scoring the game's only run.
Yeah, walk, stolen base, single by Aoki. Yeah, but Willie's been able to handle the heart and soul of this order pretty well. He's given up some hits, been able to strand some base runners. The Mariners 1 for 6. With runners in scoring position so far.
Arcia calls drawn off for the first out.
Hey, plan to be at Miller Park for Country Night just 1 week from today with this special ticket package. You get your very own Brewers trucker hat. Plus, there's a free post-game concert from country music star Kip Moore, presented by 94.5 KTI. Visit brewers.com/theme nights. 94.5 KTI Country. You're going to stick around for it?
Yeah, absolutely. Do the TV post, the radio post, and enjoy the concert with you.
Be over by then, wouldn't it?
No. It's
TV
going to be
post, radio post.
It's going to be a long concert. He's sticking around.
You work too hard.
No, we'll just do 5-minute segments, Rock. We'll get her done. Why not?
It's going to be too loud at the ballpark to do all that, isn't it?
It might be. But we've dealt with it before because these concert series have been.
They're great.
They've been very good.
Well attended.
Part of the deal, as we like to say, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 balls and a strike. Peralta delivers to Marte. And he lines one into left, base hit. Big turn, and he'll hold at first as Braun gets the ball in. So a 1-out single. That'll bring up the top of the order now for the Mariners. At bottom of the order continues to be a little bit of a headache in this series.
Yeah, kind of got a little bit too much of the play with that fastball right there, and Marte slices it out into left field. Now the Mariners have a hit in each of the first 5 innings, but Willie's been able to limit it to just 1 hit in each of the first 4 innings anyway.
Here's Aoki. He delivered the game's only run back in the 3rd inning. Lined into a double play back in the 1st. Peralta taking too much time. Aoki steps out. Hey, Rock, we got to say a big congratulations to Gwen Jorgensen from Waukesha, who won the gold medal today in the triathlon. What a performance that was. We watched part of that this morning.
Yeah, I watched the end of that.
Yeah,
was it the marathon portion, the running portion of it?
Yeah, the biking and then the running part.
Yeah, great job. Wow.
Good to see a state native and UW-Madison grad come through like that. Good times. Olympics have been fun to watch this year. Here's the 1-1. Aoki on the run and down the line on another base hit. Braun's coming up with it. Runner coming around home. And Marte will score.
Wow, Aoki. A thorn in the side of Willie Peralta tonight. That's 3 hits now. Going line to line. Double down the line and right his first time up. Base hit to right to drive and a run. And check that out. Getting on top of that high fastball just inside that left field line. Kind of gets caught in the padding down there, and that allowed Marte to score. So once again, bottom of the order getting it started. And Aoki driving him in.
Well, it's hard not to worry about a guy like Cano with 28 home runs, Cruz with 31, Seager with 23, Lind with 18. The rest of these guys are getting it done tonight. 2-0 now, Seattle.
And it's a hot team. They've won 11 of 14. They've got a lot of things going right now.
Here's Smith. Pops one up in the infield. Arcia calls for it. And there is out number 2. That'll bring up Cano. Well, we witnessed games like this from Nori Aoki, that's for sure.
He does a real good job just hitting the ball where it's pitched, and he surprised you with the way he can turn on fastballs in. He did that in the 3rd inning to drive in a run. He threw a 96-mile-an-hour fastball right on the inside corner, and he hit it hard down the right field line. This time he goes down the left field line.
First pitch in for a strike from Peralta at 97. Run home for the Mariners here in the 5th. Aoki out at second base, 2 down.
That's a ball player right there. Look at that uniform. Pine tar all over his jersey, helmet all messed up. You can tell the good hitters when you have a bat that's been around as long as the one he's using right now.
This one slapped to second. Jeanette will take care of Cano. Mariners get one more, add to their lead. It's 2-0. Community Involvement Initiative, known as the Community Achievers Award, recognizes residents throughout the state of Wisconsin for displaying extraordinary efforts in their community. All adults and school-aged children throughout the state of Wisconsin are eligible to participate. To nominate someone for the Community Achievement Award, visit Brewers.com and click on the Community Foundation tab. A lot of Brewer fans out here in Seattle this weekend. Good to see him out here wearing the Brewer gear.
And Brewers have a lot of their sponsors out here in Seattle for the weekend. Treating the sponsors to a nice weekend, a couple of baseball games. Couldn't ask for a better weekend for it. Beautiful weather.
You're not kidding.
Not a cloud in the sky the first 2 days we've been here.
Jonathan Villar leads off here in the 6th inning against Hernandez. Another familiar face we saw down during batting practice was Derek Turnbow.
Yeah.
Tebow, one of the former Brewer closers, living out here in the Seattle area and working out here now, raising his family.
You know who else was down by the dugout? Lyle Overbay.
Lyle Overbay. Didn't see him.
Did you see Lyle? I talked to him a little bit.
I did not see Lyle.
Talked to Turnbow. He's had his kids. Did you recognize his 2 kids?
It was. I said to Turnbow, I go, "Are these 2 of yours?"
They had the hair going down the shoulders, and they looked like little Derek Turnbows.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Good-looking family.
Family's doing
sure.
well. We saw Overbay. I saw Overbay with his kids down there, and yeah, what a reunion.
That's good to see that. That's a good recruiting tool, though, for fantasy camp.
Yeah, Turnbow said he's in.
That's great.
He'd be great.
Villar lines one into center, a base hit. He is on board for Milwaukee to lead off the 6th inning. His 2nd hit of the ball game.
Check this fastball out. Up, out over the plate, and Villar goes right with it. Hernandez very fortunate to get out of the way of that line drive. Right back at him. So good start to the 6th.
Here's Jeanette. 1 for 2 in the game. Had a double back in the first inning. That was Milwaukee's 4th hit of the game. 2 by Villar, by the way. Hernandez not allowing much here today. He has not walked a batter. He's hit Chris Carter one time and allowed 4 hits. That's been it. And Jonathan Villar had a base running mistake for an out in the 3rd inning when he ran past second base on a fly ball but did not re-tag second on his return to first. Jeanette into left, and it carries too far into an out as Martin runs in and catches up to it.
Yeah, just a little bit off the end, and that's what Hernandez will do to you. I mean, he eliminates a lot of the sweet spot on the bat. You can see that changeup. Scooter doing a pretty good job staying on it, but just off the end of the bat, and that's why it kind of hung up there from Martin, and was able to run under it.
First out of the 6th inning. That'll bring up Ryan Braun. Braun 0 for 2. Hernandez keeps a close eye and Villar over at first. Villar 47 stolen bases. First full year playing every day in the majors, and if he can clean up some of those mistakes, which are, you've got to believe, are just mental at this point, and understanding where you are and what the rules are
and what the game situation is. More importantly, who's up, what the count is, how many outs, what's the score. All those things dictate how aggressive you are on the bases.
He's been far more successful than he has failed. It's just those times that you fail that you know that you can clean up. There goes Villar. Swing and a miss by Braun. Throw not in time. Villar gets number 48. The better news is he's in scoring position for Braun.
And he had a decent jump, not a real big lead, but the throw a little bit high by Zunino, and he's in easily. Bad news is it's an 0-2 count on Braun.
Here's a look at the majors' stolen base leaders. Takes low. A ball and 2 strikes. Braun broke an 0 for 12 skid on this road trip last night with a 2-out, 2 RBI single in the 9th inning. Missing again low. You can hear King's Court in the background. They're all on their feet holding up their K signs. Check out these numbers. Ryan Braun 352 with runners in scoring position, and there's King's Court. Hernandez and Peralta battling on the mound. A 2-0 game right here, and the Brewers threatening for their first run. Broken bat, shattered. And Braun is thrown out. VR has to hold at second base, can't advance. Well, that bat exploded.
Yeah, got in on him again, and last time up, you can see how far down on the handle that ball makes contact, and that's an easy out. That bat broke into about 5 different pieces. Still picking up those pieces. 93, one of his best fastballs tonight. 93 in on his hands.
Here's Perez. 0 for 2, struck out his last time at the plate in the 4th inning. That one right down into the camera well. You can hear it bounce around those 2 cameras.
Everybody all right? Looks like it.
Yes, indeed. They have the good reflexes down there. Way to go, Mike Harris, down there in the third base side outside the Mariners, or I should say the Brewers dugout. We like to get the thumbs up, and yeah, a little bit of pressure, but I'm willing to take that risk for you. We have a pretty good vantage point here behind home plate, by the way. It's reminding me a little bit of spring training when we're really on top of the plate.
Yeah.
And those foul balls we have to be on high alert too, don't we?
Yeah, there you are.
A pretty good spot.
You get a baseball up here, it's not going to have too much velocity coming back on it.
A ball and 2 strikes now on Perez. Now they get amped up in that left field corner again. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 down here in the Brewers' 6th. And Perez just barely stays alive on the foul tip.
Yes, and then just couldn't hold on. That's not something you can work on. Change up. And that one in the dirt, not even close actually for the Mariners catcher. Perez struck out on the changeup his last time up.
And this time Perez goes down. Hernandez wins the battle again. 6 strikeouts now through 6 innings, and it holds a 2-0 lead.
Sweet. Hey, tonight's time of the game winner, Oneida Village Inn from Three Lakes, if they call the Brewers, by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. They get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Bottom of the 6th we go. Nelson Cruz leads off against Willie Peralta. What a battle between our two starting pitchers, as we expected tonight, between Peralta and Hernandez. But just like in 2013, Willie Peralta finds himself trailing 2-0. He is fighting to keep these sluggers off the board and has done a nice job against the big hitters. It's just those guys at the very bottom and top of the order that have done the damage. Aoki has both RBIs in this game against his former teammate.
Yep, 8 and 9 hitters have scored the run. Aoki with both RBIs. Yep.
Cruz lifts one into left center, and Braun is there for the first out. Well, the Mariners have a chance to get within one game of the wild card as Baltimore is hammered by Houston tonight 12-2. Baltimore had a 2-game lead in that wild card chase going into tonight, and Seattle with their 2-0 advantage here. And Scott Service and his Mariners, at one time they looked like maybe they were out of the playoff chase about midway through the season, and they have played their way back nicely. They've done just about everything right, pitching wise, bullpen, timely hitting.
Well, the bullpen has been particularly good, hitting a lot of home runs. They got Felix Hernandez back in the starting rotation. Change up for Willie. He's throwing everything tonight.
Kyle Seager, a base hit back in the 2nd inning. 1 for 2 against Peralta. Peralta's surrendered 2 runs on 6 hits. Only issued 1 walk, but that walk wound up coming around to score. That was Martin back in the 3rd.
Yeah, 1 walk, 1 strikeout for Willie Peralta. Yeah, one of the reasons why his pitch count's in such good shape, right? I mean, getting outs, not relying on the strikeout, hasn't really been too deep into counts all that often tonight, as he just walks his 2nd.
Just when we say the 1 walk, another one pops up here at Seager. That'll set up Adam Lind with 1 down.
And wasn't willing to throw a fastball on a 3-1 count. Remember, Seager flew out to left on a 3-0 pitch. Peralta got away with a fastball. 3-1 that time, threw a slider, missed with it.
Lind 0 for 2. He's Peralta's only strikeout victim. I mentioned during Lind's last at bat, he's from Indiana. I think he liked playing in Milwaukee in the Midwest where he grew up. Players come out to Seattle, and the travel out here is
brutal.
It is brutal.
Their shortest flight is 2.5 hours to Oakland.
That's the shortest flight within their division even.
Right.
They've got Texas and Houston in their division. Oakland and the Angels. Right back to Peralta. Chance for 2. Arcia, the relay. And the Brewers and Willie Peralta, their first double play of the night, taking care of business. Actually, their 2nd. They had one back in the 1st. We are through 6. It's 2-0 Mariners. 2-0 Mariners lead the Brewers here in the top of the 7th now. Brewer fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with the all-new Fox Sports Go app. Download the app and take Fox Sports Wisconsin and Brewers baseball with you wherever you go. Great app to have. And Hernandez back out on the hill here to start the Brewer half of inning number 7. And he holds a 2-0 lead, and he's been collecting some strikeouts over the last several innings. 5 of his 6 have come in the last 3 innings. And he faces Chris Carter here. Wendy's at the plate for Chris Carter, had a double and then was hit by a pitch. This one center field. Martin collects it for the first out. Boy, Hernandez's pitch count right now in great shape at 71 with 1 out here in the 7th inning. Pitch by inning.
Look at, he has 3 innings with less than 10 pitches. That'll keep you in a game.
Boy, you are not kidding.
Man.
Neuenhuis hammers one right to right field, right at Smith. Didn't even have to move, and just that fast, 2 down.
Yeah, 3 pitches, he got 2 outs.
Both pitchers pitching very well, but Hernandez a huge advantage right here because he's pitching with the lead. It's 2-0 right now, but over the last 3 seasons, when he has at least 3 runs of support, he is 44-2.
Well, he doesn't have 3 runs yet. Brewers hoping he doesn't. 2 pitches. Look at those 2 pitches. You can't throw him any better than that.
The 0-2 skips in 1-2. Hernandez kind of stretching his back out there after that last pitch.
It's kind of interesting the way he's responded ever since throwing that baseball. He's telling his shortstop Marte, I think I did something to my back. I'll throw this pitch anyway.
Broxton stays alive. Got beat up, but he stays alive.
Might be all part of the rhythm of Felix Hernandez because the Mariners dugout didn't budge. Catcher didn't go out.
There's 2 left side infielders giving him a little extra moment to breathe here. Kyle Seager and Ketel Marte. Broxton off or no? He's able to check his swing. 2-2.
Breaking pitch right down in the dirt, and Kean Broxton able to hold up.
Astros making some news tonight after their game. They called up their prize infielder that they just signed, Yulieski Gurriel, who signed that $47.5 million deal in July. He is from Cuba. He's going to make his major league debut tomorrow. And he walks Broxton. What an at-bat after falling behind 2 strikes.
Up 0-2 and hadn't thrown a strike since he kind of indicated that he stretched something out in his back. Everything down in the strike zone.
Quick throw down to first. Broxton is back. Well, he's going to create a little bit of havoc on the base paths here in a 2-0 game in the 7th inning. That's for sure. Might be a little bit different with a bigger lead in the way Arcia has been performing at the plate lately.
Well, you might want to try to get yourself in a scoring position, but make sure you get a good jump. Approximately 17 bags. And he's been smart about his stolen bases. He's 17 for 18.
Brewers lead the league in stolen bases. There goes Broxton. Arcia taps one foul. Can't take anything down 2 strikes.
You got to protect the plate. Too close to take.
Goes Broxton again. Arcia lines one to short. And there's the final out of inning number 7 for Milwaukee. They still are scoreless here against Hernandez.
The 7th inning stretch. Actually, it's almost over here at Safeco Field. And don't miss the season's final Free Shirt Friday this coming Friday, August 26th. Brewers take on the Pirates, and all fans in attendance get a free MKE home t-shirt courtesy of Experience Fitness. Reserve your spot today at brewers.com.
Bottom of the 7th we go. Willie Peralta back out on the hill. His pitch count at 89. But he trails in this game 2-0. Zunino leads off for the Mariners. He's 0 for 2 in this game. This one clipping along at a pretty good pace with the pitchers dominating here. This one hit hard left field and way back and gone for Zunino. A long home run, number 8 on the season, and that makes it a 3-0 ball game.
Yeah, pitch down and in. Zunino able to go down and get it and drive it deep out of here to left center.
Wow.
First home run allowed by Willie tonight. And there you go again with the bottom of the order. 7, 8, and 9. Doing some damage tonight.
7, 8, 9 have scored all 3 runs and have set the table for the run production here so far against Peralta. It's one of those nights. He's done a nice job against the big star hitters, but the bottom of the order is snuck up. There's that 3-run lead that Hernandez has turned into so many victories in his Mariner career here, especially since 2013. So the catcher helping out his pitcher, his battery mate, extending that lead out. So Martin at the plate. 1-1 misses low and inside, 2-1. Well, this week the owners' meetings took place in Houston, and Commissioner Rob Manfred was talking with the media at the end of the week about maybe making some rule changes, some things that he and the owners had talked about, perhaps implementing 20-second clocks between pitches. This one drilled foul. Some other topics: limit pitching changes late in the game and curtailing defensive shifts to produce more offense. It was interesting, 5 years ago they said there were a total of 2,400 shifts, and this year they expect 28,000. This one hit hard center field, and this one sails over the wall. Back-to-back home runs in the 7th inning by the 7 and 8 hitters against Willie Peralta.
2-2 pitch, and once again Willie getting a little bit too much of the plate. Right down the middle. It was supposed to be away. You can see Maldonado reaching for it, and Martin drives one out of here in the center field. And 4-0.
And Peralta's day is done. Pitching change. We'll tell you about it when we come back. Have been pitching very well. Started the 7th inning, not going his way. 6 strong innings in this one, using some nice defense early. He winds up giving up 4 earned runs, closing with back-to-back home runs near the bottom of the order for the Mariners.
Yeah, another good outing for Willie. I mean, really, it should have been a lot better. I mean, 4 runs on his line tonight in 6 innings, 6+. But still another pretty good start for Peralta, making some good strides since his return to the major leagues.
So Blaine Boyer in to pitch. Brewers trail in this one 4-0.
Yeah, 49th appearance for Boyer. Last pitched against the Cubs on Thursday. Last 13 appearances have been pretty good for Boyer. He's allowed 3 earned runs in 14 2/3 innings. And in that stretch, Boyer went 11 straight appearances without allowing a run.
Marte 1 for 2 in this game. He is Boyer's first batter. Missing outside, 1-2.
Yeah, hit the glove, but Maldonado was sitting off the plate.
Way inside, 2-2. Well, now Boyer and the bullpen have got to continue to shut down this Mariner offense to give the Brewers any chance. It'll be interesting to see how Hernandez is doing and if he'll come out to finish things up. Don't see really any activity in the Mariner bullpen. This one in the hole, tough play, knocked down by VR, and Marte's going to reach. So the bottom of the 7th, growing into more problems for the Brewers. 2 runs already in, and runner at first, nobody out.
And now the top of the order coming up. I don't think Arcia had a play anyway. Even had VR let it go, it would have been a backhand, it would have been a long throw. Marte runs well. Infield hit.
Here's been their toughest out of the night coming to the plate, and Nori Aoki, who is 3 for 3, 2 doubles, a single, 2 RBIs in the game, and the top of the order for the Mariners. Aoki not welcoming his old club to his new home very well. Jeanette gets the lead run at second base, and Aoki reaches on the fielder's choice.
And Nori came into the game last night late and had a sacrifice and then a punch out. But tonight, a much different story in the leadoff spot. Did a pretty good job for the Brewers in that leadoff spot when he started to get a lot of playing time.
I think that's one of the things that a lot of Brewer fans had a hard time with. Baseball fans, they want to see a good leadoff hitter, and he was a good leadoff hitter in his 2 years with Milwaukee.
Right.
Developed into one.
Well, the Brewers had some good outfielders coming up. Some prospects. They got a good left-handed pitcher out of the deal, so I think Doug Melvin would do that deal all over again. That and the fact I think Aoki is going to start making some pretty good money.
Correct. And he's 36, and now Will Smith's been traded away for 2 pretty good players the Brewers got from the San Francisco Giants as well. So it's one of those deals that has continued to pay off for Milwaukee, because Will Smith certainly developed into an ideal left-handed relief pitcher while he was with Milwaukee, getting a chance to pitch on almost every occasion he was able to. Consecutive years led the league in appearances. Here's Smith, who's 0 for 3. Nice pick by Perez. The throw back and a nice cover by Boyer over at first for the double play. Well done by the Brewers defense. And it starts with Perez. His second play tonight, he's picked over at first.
Perez just continues to shine as anywhere Craig Counsell puts him. Check this out. I mean, reaches out, gets the throw very quickly right on the money to Arcia, who leads Boyer very nicely to first base. The toughest of all double plays, the 3 to 6 to 1 double play. Good job all around.
It is amazing what he's been able to produce defensively at every position that he has started this season. And here's a look. We always show you the offensive numbers, but here's Perez, games played by position this year. First base, second base, third, short, left, right. Look at the innings he's logged.
Good guy to have. I mean, you play him anywhere.
And you can't think really one time, Rock, where he's probably committed some errors, but I mean, he hasn't made bad plays or looked maybe out of place at any of those spots. I think that's the key. He's comfortable.
And most of the time when you see an infielder go into the outfield, where do they usually put him? In left field, right? I mean, that's kind of the place where you put an infielder, because normally an infielder is not going to have a right fielder's throwing arm, but that's not the case with Perez. He's got a terrific arm, very strong, quick release, and very accurate. So they put him out there in right field so Ryan Braun can stay in left. And just because Domingo Santana is back on the team does not mean that you're not going to see Perez in that lineup every day. He's just swinging the bat too well.
Biggest reason they put him out in right field too, without the experiences, they thought he had the instincts, and he certainly has. And Maldonado leads off the Brewer 8th inning with a single to right field. There's O'Malley. Sean O'Malley took over in right field defensively for the Mariners. Seth Smith is out. So a leadoff single by Maldonado, top of the order now, and Jonathan Villar. Couple of hits in the game for Villar. And this one gets past the catcher. Runner advances up to second base. Brewers will take that right now, trying to scratch out a run or two.
And tried to backhand this changeup, and just off the end of the glove, Maldonado able to get into scoring position, so eliminates the double play possibility.
They are to second. Cano for the first out. Maldonado advances to third. Here's our Miller Lite What's on Tap tomorrow afternoon. It's Matt Garza on the hill for Milwaukee against Ariel Miranda for Seattle. Brewers are going to get their first look at Miranda, and Garza trying to get his record evened up. He's pitched well as of late for the Brewers. 2:30 Brewers Live pregame with Jeff Grayson and Jerry Augustine.
And Miranda, a trading deadline deal. With the Orioles. Traded away Wade Miley, the left-hander. They picked up Miranda.
Not a lot of big-name trades that the Mariners have made, but they have done a nice job of collecting and meeting some needs over the course of the last month.
A couple of guys in the bullpen. They got Caminero from the Pirates. Wilhelmsen, big tall right-hander. They picked him up.
Jeanette down 2 strikes. Brewers with a runner at third. That's Maldonado. 1 down. Kings Court on their feet with a 2-strike count on Jeanette. Six strikeouts so far in the game for Hernandez. Seventh game since returning from the disabled list on July 20th. 3-0 in his decisions. And he strikes out Jeanette, his 7th strikeout.
They got him on a pitch. It looked like a slider down in the zone. Zunino able to block this one, and man at third base, less than 2 outs. Scooter not able to make contact.
Here's Ryan Braun. Average at .317. He got red hot on the previous road trip and then the homestand, and has had a very quiet road trip so far, but this time making some noise. O'Malley can't catch up to it. It's going to plate the Brewers' first run. Ryan Braun an RBI double with 2 down.
Not a very good route to that baseball. Ryan Braun hits it hard out there in the right center, but not a very good effort out in right field. They brought him in for defense. He just didn't take a very good route to this baseball. Over his head. Rattles off the wall, and the Brewers able to pick up a run. So skunk out of the box for the Brewers in the 8th inning. Finally on the board.
Braun had a 2 RBI single in the 9th inning yesterday. An RBI single here in the 8th, both with 2 down. There's Perez. Let's see if he can get his first hit of the game just like Braun. Well, Perez last night hit into 2 long, loud outs. We've seen 2 home runs by the Mariners tonight. Ball not carrying quite like last night. It was 91 degrees at first pitch.
Yeah, he got a couple of those fly balls last night off of Wade LeBlanc, the left-hander, right off the end of the bat. Wade's back just a little bit. They might both be homers.
No balls, 2 strikes to Perez. Two outstanding plays over at first base. Only his second big league start at first base tonight. Last year when he was with the Tigers, he started at first in a game against Oakland. Adam Lynn took care of first base a year ago for Milwaukee. Chris Carter DHing tonight. He's on deck.
Try to figure out a way to get him up in this inning. Make things interesting. He would represent the tying run.
Perez fell behind quickly. 0-2. Battles Hernandez, fouling off a couple. Here's the 1-2. He stays alive again.
See a pattern on Fox tracks there, right? I mean, how often have we've shown that box, and you know, the pitch pattern has been right there, down and away, just down, everything down,
everything down.
Zone,
yep.
Right.
Again, the 1-2, and this one into right, another base hit. Here comes Braun. He will score, and the Brewers get a couple of runs here in the 8th inning. And they're still batting. Chris Carter's coming up.
They're probably going to spell the end of the night, or maybe close for Felix Hernandez. Breaking pitch, he left up in the zone, it was in, and Perez doing a really good job just pulling the hands in, shooting it out into right field. So Perez comes up big, and now Carter represents the tying run. Brewers 2 runs here in the 8th.
Mel Stottlemyre, the pitching coach, out to talk to his ace pitcher.
Guys have a lot of fight in this Brewers ball club. Coming back just like they tried to do last night. Lost by a run. And now they have the tying run at home plate.
Carter inside. Carter with a double back in the 2nd inning. He was hit by a pitch in the 4th. Flew out to center field in the 7th inning.
A handful of pitchers in baseball that get this kind of leeway with their manager in the 8th inning. 4-0. The Brewers have a couple of runs in. Felix Hernandez certainly has been given the right, or earned the right, to be able to stay in this game.
Pitch count at 104 with this delivery. And it misses inside to Carter. 2-1.
Yeah, it looked a lot closer to the fans than it actually was. It's been a good night behind home plate for Marvin Hudson.
Yes, it has. Low again, 3-1. Some activity out in the bullpen. Wilhelmsen is out there right now tossing. 3-1 on the way. Carter swinging and missing.
That's ball 4. Over anxious. Once again, look at everything down or in off the plate.
Carter stays alive. The second pitch in this at bat that's reached the strike zone. That's how good a pitcher this guy is, though.
Makes a swing out of the strike zone, even when you're ahead in the count.
Again, Carter, good at bat against Hernandez. It'll be at least 8 pitches. Called strike 3 inside corner. Carter goes down, and the Brewers' threat ends, but they do trim into the lead, cutting it in half, leading 2 runs. It's 4-2 Seattle. On Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. All right, 4-2 we go, bottom of the 8th inning. What a battle by Chris Carter with Hernandez. 8-pitch at bat. He represented the tying run.
Change up right here. Might have been a little bit in off the plate, but too close to take, and Marvin Hudson rings it up, ends the inning.
That's a new ball game, though. Now Boyer has to keep Seattle from scoring and extending their lead back. 4-2.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5 coming up.
Robinson, Cano, Nelson, Cruz, and Kyle Seager. Cano 0 for 3 in this game. Boyer came in the 7th inning. Willie Peralta had given up back-to-back home runs to start the inning. And then Boyer came in, gave up an infield single. Got a force out, and then a nice double play turn by Perez at first base. Second inning of relief. All the changes the Brewer bullpen has gone through, they have done a very, very good job of keeping intact how we saw them earlier this year. They've still been strong,
yes, they
minus
have.
Jefferson Smith.
Yeah, it's been a good group out there. Tyler Thornburg has been closing games.
Tyler Cravey was added to the mix.
Corey Knebel's been very good. Carlos Torres all year has been eating up a lot of important innings for Council.
You saw Suter out there to the far right. He started yesterday's game, but will be coming out of the bullpen, at least short term. Cano liner foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Mariners slugger. Tall task at hand here for Boyer to face the 3 top hitters for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 8th inning. This one to left and fair down the line. Goes all the way to the wall. Braun cuts it off. And Cano a double. Number 29 on the season.
That's just a good piece of hitting right there by a tremendous hitter. You see that pitch away. It's a little bit up. Gives Cano a chance to barrel it up and rips it right inside that left field line. Needless to say, that is a huge run out there at second base.
29th double on the season, number 475 in his career. And he's got the home runs, the doubles. What an extra base hit machine Robinson Cano is.
There has not been not many better offensive second basemen in the game for a long, long time.
There's Cruz. So the leadoff double. Cruz also doubled back in the 4th inning, his only hit of the game so far. 31 home runs. Big swing and a miss by Cruz.
Yeah, boy, 95 with that fastball. He's going to be glad to hear that. Telling me through 95 miles an hour. Doesn't usually throw that hard.
Chopper over the mound. Jeanette's going to go to third, and it hits Cano and goes into the camera well, so he will score. Oh, what a bad break for the Brewers there.
I'm not so sure that was a good decision anyway. I mean, that would have been a very tough play for Jeanette to make in that situation. You can see where he makes the catch. He's thinking third base all the way. Now, if it doesn't hit him, they have a chance, but you got to clear the runner to make sure you have a path to throw the baseball. Hits him right square in the back, into the dugout, run scores, and Nelson Cruz ends up at second base. Maybe just trying to make something out of nothing right there.
That brings up Seager. That's one of those plays that very similar to when a first baseman fields a ball and tries to get the runner going from first to second. It's just a tough angle to deal with.
Yeah, and he was, the path that he had to throw in, the angle was right through Robinson Cano as he's heading to third base. Which is why you don't see that play attempted all that often, because the throw is very difficult.
Cahill getting loose in the Brewer bullpen. This is how it's gone this week, though, as well as we just talked about with the Brewers bullpen. You face the Cubs offense, now this Mariners offense, and you're trailing so often against these two teams, and when you fight and claw your way back, it's hard to keep these offenses from tacking on extra runs. We've seen a lot of that this week on this trip.
You can't make mistakes against teams like this. The Brewers have made some base running mistakes. They committed some errors last night. That play right there by Scooter. When you're playing teams that are playing well and they're looking to get to the postseason, you can't make mistakes. You can't be sloppy.
Villar made the base running mistake early in the game. Boyer misses outside the Seager, running the count full now. Misses. First and second, still nobody out here in the 8th inning.
Well, second inning for Blaine Boyer. You wonder how long Counsell's going to allow him to go. Scahill has been up in the bullpen. You can see Maldonado stalling for time. You figure that Counsell might want to make a move here. But he's got to make sure that Scahill's ready to come in.
Now Craig Counsell will come out and make the pitching change. Tough start to the 8th inning for Blaine Boyer and the Brewers when they were able to get that 4-run deficit cut in half. A run is already home for Seattle. It's 5-2. 2 runners on, nobody out, and Boyer will exit. Now and looking for an out here in his 22nd appearance.
And a .424 earned run average. Scahill last pitched on Thursday against the Cubs. Tossed a scoreless inning, gave up a hit and a strikeout. Was called up on August 8th from AAA Colorado Springs after 8 appearances. Picked him up off of waivers from the Pirates. First and second, nobody out.
And he will face Adam Lind. Cruz out at second, Seager at first, Lind at the plate. 0 for 3, hit into a double play in the 6th inning. Scahill, the third pitcher used. Willie Peralta pitching into the 7th inning, but gave up the back-to-back home runs. Then Boyer, and now Scahill. Missing outside, 2-0. Mariners use Felix Hernandez through 8. But his pitch count well over 100. And he checked his swing, 3-0. Hernandez untucked at the top of the steps in that Mariner dugout. He's got quite the hairdo working down there, doesn't he, Ron?
Yeah, that is. That's nice.
There's a strike into Lynn. That untucked jersey, just you can't help but think about Prince Fielder and the untucked playoff days of 2011. Hard to believe that his career is over, isn't it?
Yeah, no kidding. Man, what a player he was.
Just within the last couple of weeks announcing medically that he won't be able to continue his career. Lynn hits one hard, right center, and bounces over the wall for a ground rule double. That will help the Brewers a bit for now. Only 1 run will come in instead of 2. With the second and third, still nobody out. So Lynn greets his old team with an RBI double. And it's 6-2.
Yeah, fell behind 3-0, and then Lynn able to get good wood on a 3-1 pitch, down in the zone, out away from him, and just drives it 1 hops over the fence. Get him behind the count, and Lynn made him pay the price. And still nobody out. Second and third now.
Here's Mike Zunino. He hit a home run his last time up in the 7th inning off Peralta. That started the 7th inning. The first of back-to-backs. Here's a look at that home run by Zunino. And it was no cheapie either.
Yeah, that was one of the few mistakes that Willie made. He'd make another one right after that to Martin. He had a home run. The pitch count got to him a little bit. But in general, a good outing for Willie.
Brewers with a season-high 5-game losing streak. Got to find a way to come back here tonight. Try to end that. It'll be tough right now. Another base hit. Gets past Broxton all the way to the wall. 2 runs in. And Zunino will stop at second base and settle for the 2 RBI double. And still nobody out. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning, it is now 8-2 Mariners.
And once again, falling behind in the count, another 3-1 pitch. This time, Zunino able to drive it to the opposite field, almost the same spot that Lynn hit his. Once it got by Broxton, he knew the 2 runs were going to be able to score easily. And the Mariners just blown this one wide open. 8-2.
Last 2 at bats for the Mariner catcher, a home run and a double, 3 RBIs. A close game to begin this half of the inning after the Brewers were able to get their first 2 runs of the game, now stretched all the way out to a 6-run deficit. Brewers got to find a way to get it out.
Yeah, that's what happens when you continue to work behind in the count. You know, both doubles coming on 3-1 pitches. No secret. Put yourself in a fastball count. You throw a fastball. These guys are looking for him.
14 ahead of Scahill. 2 balls and 1 strike. He also hit a 7th inning home run. He scored a couple of runs, walked back in the 3rd and scored. Also stolen a base. This one. Again, they'll go to 3rd for the force out attempt. Didn't work earlier this inning. This time it does by Arcia.
Better angle. Had a better angle to make the throw to 3rd base. Scooter was in direct line between 2nd and 3rd. Hit the runner, Cano, as he went to 3rd base. This time Arcia with a much better angle to make that throw. You can see where he's at. And doesn't even come close to hitting the runner going to 3rd.
Here's Marte. Brewers could use a double play, but Marte's pretty tough to double up. Two singles and a run in this game 2 of a 3-game series. One and 2 the count on Marte. Scahill in relief of Boyer, who had a tough start to this inning, and Scahill not faring a whole lot better right now. 4 runs are in this inning and still only 1 out.
Yeah, swing and a miss. He strikes out. Marte saying that he fouled it off.
The Brewers will take that strikeout. And now Scott Service coming out.
Yeah, good breaking pitch. Once you get ahead in the count, you get guys to swing at those, and I'm not sure you could see anything there, whether he foul tipped it or not. Who knows?
Well, 2 down, top of the order. Here's Aoki. He's been a 1-man wrecking crew from the top of the order against Milwaukee. 2 doubles and a single, 2 RBIs in this game. See what Scahill can do against him. Swinging at the first pitch. Nice stop by Jeanette. Throws to Scahill in time for the out. And a very close play over there at first base. And the Mariners will not challenge.
A nice play by Scooter. Good job by Scahill to get over.
There's one more look into the grass. And a nice job with the pitcher covering Scahill.
It is presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Spend the night with luxury. 8-2 Mariners lead the Brewers as we go to the top of the 9th inning for the road team Brew Crew. Big 4-run 8th inning for Seattle. No save situation, so Steve Cishek is able to come in now and tries to finish out Milwaukee. Just came off the disabled list yesterday.
Yeah, with a labrum tear, and when he went on the disabled list, his 25 saves ranked 3rd in the American League. And right now, Diaz is the closer. I would imagine that's going to stay that way until Cishek perhaps gets back into the groove.
Eight strong innings for the starter, Felix Hernandez. Gave up 2 runs on 7 hits. Neuenhuis to lead off the Brewer 9th inning. Seven hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, and 8 strikeouts for Hernandez, who's in line to win his 4th decision since coming off the disabled list. And if he pitches the way he pitched against Milwaukee the rest of the way, it means he's only getting stronger. And this team, with a win tonight over Milwaukee, if they hang on, only 1 off the wild card pace in the American League.
And get the 10 games over 500. Looking to win their 12th in their last 15.
They're chasing Texas in the division race, but called strike 3 on Neuenhuis. The Rangers with a 7-game lead.
It's going to be hard to lose a 7-game lead, but stranger things have happened.
Yep, that's for sure.
Yeah, a lot of time left, about 6 weeks left in the season. Never know.
Rangers signing Carlos Gomez to a minor league contract today. Their game plan is to have him play a few games at their AAA level and then evaluate whether they want to put him on the big league roster. Cut loose by the Astros, so he didn't have far to move in the state of Texas, did he? Stays right in the division.
Right.
Keon Broxton, a ball and a strike. Broxton officially 0 for 2. He did walk back in the 7th inning.
Tough breaking pitch for a right-hander, kind of that sidearm delivery, and got to really concentrate to keep that front shoulder closed and try and drive it to the opposite field. Tough to do with a guy like this.
Cishek working at a pretty good pace. Down, 2 down here in the Brewer 9th. 2 strikeouts. That'll bring up Arcia. Cishek pouring in strikes here in the 9th inning. Be interesting to see tomorrow if Arcia gets a day off. He has struggled at the plate on this road trip. Outside 1-2.
Well, Council's given him a day off in this road trip once already. He had a day off in Chicago. Just got to let him fight his way through this.
Roll to third, and Seager takes care of it for the final out. And the Mariners, behind their ace, Felix Hernandez, topped Willie Peralta. And the Brewers here tonight, 8-2. They've taken the first 2 games of this 3-game series, so they've already won the series. And Milwaukee will have to regroup and get back to work and try to break what now is a 6-game losing streak, a season high. Plenty more to come here on Brewers Live postgame. Let's send it back to the studio and Jeff Grayson.